All right, you guys, it's Greg with Gamers with Coffee. This is the beginning of turn 2 for Panzer battles. So if you've been following, it's now the Germans are going to start. They are here, working up towards the east to get at these Soviets. Unfortunately, we drew a dummy chit, so no backup for Germans. What I'm going to do is film this in a couple little pieces. So we're going to get these guys and bring them up. They have more than enough movement ability, regardless of terrain, to get up here and start fighting. I'm going to take these Germans and swing them around and try to flank them, because we got to get these three areas. And when it's the Soviets' turn, their reinforcements automatically come in. They automatically have enough, regardless of what's in their way, to come up and engage. So it's kind of an all or nothing at this point. Without the reinforcements, we're just going to go with what we got, which the Germans have some pretty strong stuff going on here. So stay tuned. This is the next part coming up. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, you can see the Germans made their moves, and we're going to get to the fighting in a second here. We pretty much are going to be just trying to kill them off and take it. The other units that were here, they come around flanking them, because we know the Soviets are going to come right up. We're just going to try to overpower these, knock them out, occupy it, and see if they can kick us out. So here goes the fight. We'll let you know what happens with that. All right, third attempt. Boy, just nothing but problems. So this is the end of the Germans' round. From here, they attacked with tanks and infantry. They caused the Soviets to lose a step and retreat. So here's the tank company of the Soviets. I moved them adjacent, but that way they'll be able to reattack the Germans on their turn. The next thing that happened is from the south, we had the armored car and motorcycles attack a tank company. It just simply caused the tank company to lose a step. That's it. Then after that, we had from the north, this tank company attacked the Soviet tank company was there, and the Soviets, they did lose that tank company. They're removed. Then from that point on, the Germans also attacked the Soviets, and they attacked with infantry and tanks from the north. The result was the Germans lost a step, and the tank company for the Soviets lost a step. Then from the south, 2 infantry gun companies and 1 infantry company attacked that Soviet position. The result was the Soviet lost a step. So it eliminated the Soviets from here, and then German infantry occupied it. The next move was infantry and tanks attacked the Soviet rocket position. The only thing that happened to that was they lost a step. That's the totality of what the Germans did. So they surrounded this area. We occupied all 3 squares that we have to, all hexes. The Soviets did lose 2 tank companies in the process. Rockets, interestingly enough, took a beating. They just lost a step. And so that's worrisome, because, they can shoot 5 hexes. So that's the end of the Germans. Final round. This is round 2. This is the most the Germans could do. At this point, we've occupied it. But according to the rules, all Keegan's got to do, say hi, Keegan.
Hi.
Is take the Soviets and simply kick one of them out of the squares, because the Germans cannot win unless they occupy all 3 spots. So here we go. I know that the Soviets are going to have their reinforcements, which are infantry and tank companies and mortar companies. They're going to be able to move regardless with the terrain hindering and all that. They're still going to be able to come up here and start beating on the Germans. So here we go. We'll let you know what happens with that. All right, you guys. This is the complete end of this game of Panzer battles. The Germans, they got their stuff done. We went through that. So Keegan was here. He's left. So I'm just going to wrap this up for you, okay? So in this case, the Soviets attacked from the north, and both sides lost a step. The Soviet rockets took on the German tank companies, lost a step and were eliminated. Mortars and armored cars attacked the Germans, and the Soviets lost a step. And the German tank companies lost a step. The Soviet infantry next attacked over here, and it was on this side. So when that happened, from the notes, we made these little notes, the Germans lost the tank company and they had to retreat. So the Soviets occupied. Soviet infantry attacked again. I'm sorry, they just did. So the Soviet rockets attacked and we had to retreat. Infantry attacked. Both sides lost steps, and from the north, the Soviets, 2 tank companies and 2 infantry attacked. The end result is that the Germans were booted out of all 3 positions, and the Soviets were able to occupy them. There's not much, there's nothing left to do now. The Soviets win by definition in this scenario. We finished playing as much as we could. Still, Keegan didn't even have to move in. This reserve never even had to come in because these units were removed from play. The Germans lost 2 tank companies. The Soviets lost 2 tank companies. It's kind of interesting because the Germans also lost infantry and the other units that were here. One had to retreat. Now this is what I'm not sure of, you guys. So I had to retreat. I retreated them back into other units. I don't know if I can do that or not. I mean, they were booted out. There was nowhere for them to go. So that made sense to me. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, man, correct me. Because what do you do with units when they have to retreat, but there's nowhere to retreat to because they're surrounded? So I'm unsure, so I retreated them to other units. Either way, the Germans lost this scenario this round, mainly because of the way this starts out. I mean, literally, you only have 2 turns. If you had a 3rd turn, possibly, these other units would be able to do something, but the Soviets literally are coming in with more power because I couldn't bring the Germans in. So, there you go. That's the end of Panzer battles. This is a good game. Thank you, Jeff and Wardrobe. I appreciate it. Charles, for your input, and not Jay there for helping out. McMurray, and watching you guys do your thing. A little unsure of a few things, but I think we mostly got ironed out. I will have to say one thing, you guys. The rules written, for me, could have been written a little less complicated. Like, they overcomplicate. It comes across overcomplicated until it dawns on you what you got to do on some of these things. So maybe their rules could have been written a little bit better. Having meat hooks for hands, that's a little hard on these little tiny chits. However, and I know Mini Wormut's going to cry, but Mini Wormut, this was actually fun. I understand why people like to play these games. It's fun. Now, I don't know if I could do what Charles is doing, like the Mighty Endeavor, I think it's called, or some of these massive 2,000 counter games. I'm not at that point. However, this is an interesting thing that I'm going to stick with, and we'll do some more scenarios too. But this is the end of our first introduction into chick games. Thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate it. Keegan likes it too. So now you guys got some converts. And Mini Warmutt, no, we're not leaving you. We're still going to do our miniatures. But this is just something to add to Gamers with Coffee and what we do. This was pretty much a slugfest. The Soviets win. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you got some comments, leave them. They'd be great. Share this with others. And likes. All that helps us out, and we appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a good rest of your day. And you know what? Always try something different. Don't be stuck in one line of gaming, because there's games you're going to miss out on doing that. I'm telling you from personal experience. If you like the game, try things that you're not sure of. Well, I did. This is completely brand new territory, and I don't even know if I'm doing it all correct. But you know what? Most of it I've got correct, and I finally got these formulations down. So I think we're okay. But anyways, thank you guys. We appreciate it.